Welcome to Tiara Tuesday with Princess Gigglebottom.
Hi friends, Princess Gigglebottom here with the next episode of Tiara Tuesday, Bing! Where you don't have to be royal, you just gotta be real. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video, turn on notifications so you don't miss any of the royal shenanigans. So we've been talking here on Tiara Tuesday about a series called The Mind Makeover. Well, I thought I would take just a little break from that. I had something very exciting happen over the weekend. PGB had her first live appearance. I was in Brandon at Kirby's Plant Nursery. They were having a spring fling, which they were saying is nature's way of party. So they invited me there to talk about plant therapy. And there were a lot of questions, and it really was a topic of interest. And as I was telling people about the experience, I got a lot of interest and more questions. So I thought that it might be a good idea to talk a little bit about this on the show. So today on Tiara Tuesday, we're going to talk about plant therapy. So what is plant therapy? It actually has its roots, get it? Roots, plant, back into ancient civilization, way back to the Egyptians. So at that time, gardens were thought to have healing properties and would promote spiritual well-being, peacefulness, things like that. You've probably also heard of plant-based medicine, where the providers and practitioners will use herbs and plants to sort of add to traditional medicine. And then, of course, I think we're all hearing more and more about a plant-based diet. So let me just tell you, for me, the way I got started into plant therapy was back when I was in treatment for breast cancer a couple of years ago. I'm a breast cancer survivor, in case you didn't know that. And as part of my treatment, my healthcare team recommended that I do some sort of daily self-care. And as I was recovering and going through radiation, you don't have a whole lot of energy or motivation, but something that I was able to do was get outside every day, and I would try to sit for at least 15 minutes in the sun, get some fresh air, and just try to think positive thoughts or uplifting things. And so my sister, who is my inspiration, she was born with a green thumb. Everything she touches grows like magic. It's super cool. But that is a gene I did not inherit. However, she had faith in me, and she brought me some clippings of different plants, mostly succulents or spider plants, things that they say in the plant world are a little more hardy, which I think means they're more difficult to kill. I think it's a nice way of saying that. But she brought me these plants, and she helped me get them potted in some soil. And so I would go out each day and look at the plants, and sometimes I would water them or just touch the leaves. And yes, I'll be honest, I even talk to them sometimes. So I formed this relationship with the plants, and it was this thing that it sort of motivated me every day to get up and go out there. And I started looking forward to seeing my new green friends, and any kind of new little growths or blooms got me really excited. So plant therapy, one of the things that it can definitely do is encourage a sense of purpose or motivation. So that's the way that it helped me. Now, plant therapy comes in a variety of things. It doesn't just have to be gardening. It can be landscaping. It can be indoor house plants. Indoor houseplants are great. They improve the oxygen. Also, it's shown in research that kids that learn in an environment, in a classroom that has live green plants growing, it actually encourages them to focus. So it helps with attention deficit. And as I said, it also improves the air quality. So another form of plant therapy, another big buzzword I'm hearing a lot, is forest bathing, which is a simple way to think of it as a nature walk. But the whole idea is that this concept of mindfulness that I know a lot of people are talking about now, and mindfulness is more than just deep breathing or yoga or meditation. Mindfulness is when you connect so intently to a task that everything else in the world kind of disappears. So if you choose to do that, there's many activities you can do. I mean, something as simple as washing the dishes or folding laundry can be mindful. But if we're talking about something that's a great give and take relationship, we think about plants as using as a tool for our mindfulness. So what happens is you give to the plants by taking care of them, and then they give back to you by improving your air quality. And there's also some scientific basis in a couple of things that I want to share with you. So we know that when you take your hands and you take your bare hands and you dig in the soil, that actually elevates your serotonin level. And serotonin is the neurotransmitter that's responsible for depression and anxiety. So low serotonin causes depression and anxiety. If you play in the dirt, basically, you elevate the serotonin and you may help to decrease the likelihood of depression and anxiety. It's also shown to decrease or lower the cortisol levels, and cortisol is known as the stress hormone. As I said before, it can help improve focus. It's also very good for patients that are struggling with cognitive impairment, maybe a form of dementia, because they're very good for stimulating all the senses. And it also can help the patient to connect with, through nostalgia, with a memory that might help to bring them happiness or pleasure. So those are all mental benefits, but I also wanted to tell you that it's been shown that plants can help to affect the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. So this is your fight, flight, or freeze response. So it helps to calm all of that down. So that means you're experiencing a lower blood pressure and a lower heart rate. So there's actually scientific evidence. People have been placed in a room where they had plants versus a room with nothing. I think one of the experiments even said just a picture of a plant with soldiers that have PTSD, or even prisoners that never get out into the sunlight. And just the picture of the plant helped to lower the heart rate and the blood pressure. So interacting with them is going to do that even more so. So we know that it then can improve depression and anxiety, help with focus. It can boost your mood because interacting with plants causes your brain to secrete feel-good hormones, the dopamine and endorphins. And so that's another benefit. I want to encourage you to consider this as an option for mindfulness. Now, you don't have to have a green thumb. That's where I was going with the story I was telling you in the beginning. I have the opposite of a green thumb. Probably, I guess that would be a brown thumb. But even I was able to learn how to nurture and interact with things. Now, that doesn't mean I did it perfectly. You got to break a few eggs to make an omelet. And there were a few plants that, have gone on to do other things. They've become fertilizer. But the point is, that if you form this connection and it's able to bring you happiness and peace and experience that mindfulness, for many people, someone that came to see me this weekend said, when I'm with my plants, this is the one thing I can do right. This is the one thing where my stress and anxiety, depression, it doesn't follow me because I step into my plant world and everything, around me is gone. And that's what I'm talking about. They can be very, very healing. So I hope that you found this helpful. And remember, when in doubt, dance it out. Boom, 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 boom. Princess Gigglebottom here saying goodbye for now. Thank you so much for tuning in to Tiara Tuesday. Remember, life is short. Don't forget to giggle. Giggle with me. I love you all. Thank you for your support. Mwah!